Hey, this is Politics with Laura. Now, there was a lot going on over there in Russian waters between Putin and the leader of the Wagner Group. Now, what I find interesting is that people are buying that narrative. Fine, I get it. I call it BS. There's something in that situation that makes no sense at all. Okay. The Wagner Group are a bunch of mercenaries, and they recruit people from Russian jails. You train with them, and then you go do jobs, or you could just stay in jail. You have one or the other. I find it interesting that people would rather be mercenaries than stay in Russian jails. I mean, that right there speaks. That's a lot. That right there is saying a lot. Now, I can't remember the man's name, the general. Posit, Jury Posit, whatever his name is. All of a sudden, he decides, in the middle of a war, to turn on Putin. And then turn his tanks in group to head to Moscow. While going, decides, I don't want to do that. Then within that, has a conversation with Putin and says, well, go to Belarus, live there, and everything's fine. Do you buy that BS? Could you imagine anyone, the U.S. was in a war, and there was the skinheads. I'm just saying that, the person that popped in my head. And they were fighting against whomever, whatever country we were going against. And then in the midst of the fighting, the leader of the skinheads says, let's march on Washington. Let's go take it over. And then they proceed to Washington to take it over. And then in the midst of them going, they decide, the leader says, forget about it. And then the president, Joe Biden, says, go to Mexico, everything's okay. Hell no. That's a bunch of BS. And if you bought that, I have the Brooklyn Bridge to sell you. No. Number one, Belarus is with Russia. This is either a propaganda or what they call live action, a LARP, whatever the heck these people call it. A hoax, propaganda, BS. Whether this came from Washington or from Russian waters, I don't know. But I know it doesn't sound right. Now, the Wagner Group makes way too much money cleaning up countries. They've been in Africa, just down in Zimbabwe, getting rid of Al Qaeda, been to Malawi. And Malawi said, hey, France, you're not helping us. You're trying to take over a country. Get out. Then the Wagner Group comes in and cleans it all up. Now, of course, there were some casualties, and I'm not making light of it. But when you have a group of people in there, which they consider them being run over by some extremist, and these people are wearing the same clothing as the citizens, how are you going to be able to pick out who is whom? Not only that, when you suspect people that are there and they are within that group, the citizens who are being terrorized are not going to say, hey, he did it, get him. No, that's not how it works. But I digress. There is something that I just find funny about this mutiny going on with the Wagner Group. I don't believe it. And whomever came up with that storyline is a knucklehead. Just my thought. What are your thoughts?